Once upon a time, in a world not so different from our own, there was a boy named Elvis. But this Elvis was not like any other. At just 15, he carried an air of quiet difference. To watch him was strange. He was shy, but not in a way you'd expect. He longed to be noticed, yet his methods were peculiar. He'd do anything to catch eyes, not for fame, but to feel something inside, a feeling he knew was different from everyone around him. One day, Dixie, a spirited girl of the same age, decided to seek him out. Not by asking, but by making noise, loudly talking in places where Elvis might hear. And hear her, Elvis did. When Dixie arrived at the Rainbow Rollerdome, a place where skaters glided under neon lights, Elvis was there too. He was sitting alone, his skates on, trying to blend in but standing out in a bolero suit instead of skating gear. Dixie approached, and Elvis, with a shy smile, admitted he couldn't skate. It was then they walked to the snack bar where Elvis opened up, sharing dreams and fears no one had dared to listen to before. Dixie felt a connection, sensing this wasn't just another kid. They spent the night together, sneaking out, going to a hamburger joint under false pretenses, and sharing secrets under the glow of neon signs. Elvis, who usually kept to himself, found solace in Dixie's company. He confided in her, revealing a side hidden from the world. Their bond grew, fueled by shared rides, late-night conversations, and dreams of something more. Dixie, emboldened by her feelings, introduced Elvis to her family, hoping they'd see past his unusual appearance. But the Locks, Elvis's family, were bewildered. His father, Mr. Locke, a towering figure, seemed impenetrable. Dixie's attempts to prepare her family fell short when they met the real Elvis, shy, dressed formally, and seemingly out of place. Yet beneath this facade, Dixie saw the Elvis she loved. Meanwhile, in a small town, Scotty Moore, a musician with dreams larger than his band's record sales, crossed paths with Sam Phillips, the owner of Sun Records. Sam, seeing potential, asked Scotty to check out Elvis Presley, a local singer with a unique sound. Scotty visited Sun Records, expecting little. But when Elvis walked in, his presence was undeniable. Despite initial doubts, Scotty was captivated by Elvis's raw talent. Sam, hearing Elvis's voice for the first time, was equally taken aback. It was clear they had stumbled upon something special. A few days later, under the stars, Elvis played for Scotty and Bill Black at Sam's place. At first, it seemed like another ordinary night, but then something shifted. Elvis took the reins, playing with a passion and skill that silenced their doubts. Sam, initially angry at the deviation from their planned session, couldn't deny what he was hearing. The raw, emotional power of Elvis's voice was undeniable. In that moment, something changed. The path ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear: Elvis had touched something fundamental within them. The conventional music world might not be ready, but these three knew they had witnessed the beginning of something extraordinary. Sam and Dewey were deep in thought after hearing Elvis' unique sound. They sat in silence, trying to wrap their heads around what they had just heard. It wasn't like anything they'd ever heard before. Elvis' voice was raw and full of emotion, like no other singer they knew. Sam thought it was a mix of joy and sadness, a feeling that came from living through tough times. Dewey loved the record, but he was puzzled. It didn't fit into any one category. It wasn't black, white, pop, or country. They both knew they had something special, but they weren't sure what to do next. They spent hours talking, drinking, and listening to the record, trying to figure out its potential. The next morning, Dewey couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about that incredible voice and the unique sound. He called Sam early the next day, eager to share his thoughts. He wanted 2 copies of the record for his radio show, without telling anyone else yet. Sam quickly made the acetates and brought them to the station. That night, Dewey played "That's All Right" on the air. The response was immediate and overwhelming. People called the station, asking for more. Dewey called Sam's house, waking him up to tell him the news. Elvis' mother, Gladys, and his father, Vernon, were shocked and curious. They went to the station to find their son, finally locating him at a theater. Elvis was nervous about the attention, but excited too. A year later in Germany, a young guitarist named Bill Wyman heard the same song on a jukebox. It caught him off guard, and he was so inspired that he started drawing Elvis on his coat. Word of Elvis music was spreading far and wide, even reaching soldiers stationed abroad. With their new hit, Sam knew it was time to focus on the music full-time. Elvis and Scotty quit their jobs to concentrate on the band. However, Elvis' father, Vernon, wasn't happy about this change. He thought Elvis should stick to being an electrician, not a musician, but Elvis was determined to pursue his passion. With their newfound freedom, the band started playing small gigs everywhere they could find work. They played at high schools, community centers, and even small venues in far-off places like West Texas. They would string chicken wire in front of the stage if they needed to. The music was taking off, and the boys were ready to make it big. As they traveled from place to place, playing to anyone who would have them, they began to build a reputation. Their unique sound and Elvis' powerful voice were drawing crowds. It was the start of something big, something that would change the face of music forever. Elvis Presley was a unique performer. He loved performing and felt alive when he was on stage. To him, the stage was like home. When he talked to people he didn't know well, he was shy and struggled to express himself. But when he sang, he could connect deeply with others, touching their souls. His friend Scotty noticed how Elvis moved the crowd with his dance moves. Unlike other singers, Elvis didn't just stand still. He moved with his whole body, and this added to his magic. At first, Elvis didn't expect such a huge reaction from audiences. But after performing a few times and seeing the same thing happen, he started to enjoy it. He thrived on stage and felt incredibly happy performing. In 1955, Elvis and his band traveled to many places to play concerts. They performed at various venues, from small schools to larger arenas. One notable moment was when Elvis went to New York City to audition for a TV show. The talent scouts didn't show much interest, but this didn't stop Elvis from performing. After auditioning, he continued touring, playing concerts in different towns across the country. On May 5th, Elvis took his first airplane ride to New York City with his band members. They were on the move almost continuously, playing concerts in places like Arkansas, Mississippi, and Texas. Even when he wasn't singing, Elvis was always on edge, nervous, and sensitive. He wore a stylish jacket and pants, showing both shyness and confidence. Elvis had a special connection with his audience. He seemed to sense the energy around him and could create something new and exciting with every performance. This talent came from his confidence, which Sam Phillips, his producer, encouraged him to express. Elvis's performances were revolutionary, especially for a white male performer at the time. He moved in ways no one else dared to. His drummer, DJ Fontana, learned to play in a way that matched Elvis's energetic stage presence, influenced by his experience in strip clubs. Elvis's music had a powerful effect on people, especially young women. His presence on stage was so captivating that it broke social norms and left people excited and free from their usual constraints. The boys in his band knew their role was to support Elvis, as the fans came to see him. Elvis's shows were spontaneous, with no two performances ever being the same. By 1956, Elvis had become a sensation. The crowd's energy sometimes made it hard for the band to hear themselves, but they followed Elvis's lead. His style was influenced by various sources, including Little Richard, who was open about his sexuality and had a flamboyant stage presence. This blend of influences, along with Elvis's unique talent, created an unforgettable experience for his fans. A pivotal moment came in Jacksonville, Florida, when Elvis's performance led to a riot as fans rushed him after the show. This incident caught the attention of Colonel Tom Parker, who saw Elvis's potential and decided to represent him. Despite his mother's reservations, Elvis signed with Parker, beginning a long and influential partnership. Elvis's story is one of a young man who found his voice and used it to connect with millions. His ability to express himself freely and authentically on stage changed the music world forever. His legacy lives on, reminding us of the power of music and performance to unite and inspire.